Edith arrived downstairs for breakfast to be greeted by her colleague, Mary Perkins, complaining loudly. Mary had never been one for waking up in the best of tempers, and now her voice rose over the clattering of saucepans and pots being stacked on the lino floor of the storeroom, which was squeezed between the stairs and the large area they all used as a canteen and common room. Gladys, who helped out their cook and with general domestic duties, stood up and pushed her lank brown hair from her eyes. Even though the morning was still young, she looked as if she'd already been up for hours.
"We got to hand over all our scrap metal," she said. "The government says so. There's going to be a collection or we can take it to the council. So I'm sorting out all our old pots what aren't no real use anymore." "Yes, but can't you do so quietly?" Mary wailed. "Surely they can't need it right now. The council depots won't even be open, and I'll bet all their staff are still safely asleep, like anybody sensible would be."
Gladys shook her head.
"I got other things to do later, so I thought I'd get on and do this now, then it will be one job done and ticked off me list."
Edith nodded to herself. This time last year, Gladys wouldn't have said boo to a goose, but she'd changed in the months in between, gaining in confidence and learning to read. Now she was standing up to Mary, who had a heart of gold, but was used to a lifetime of speaking sharply to servants. "Come on," Edith said, not wanting to start the day with a row. "I'm starving. Let's have some toast." She steered Mary away and over to a vacant dining table, as Gladys resumed her sorting and stacking. Mary plonked herself down on the hard wooden chair, which made her rich brown curls bounce around her cross face, and allowed Edith to fetch her some toast and a cup of tea. "It's too bad," she grumbled. "What, that Gladys has to get up even earlier than usual to clear out the broken saucepans?" Edith thought that was a bit much, even for Mary. Mary shook her head. "No, of course not. I know I'm being silly." She sighed as she smeared a small amount of butter across the toast. "It's nothing to do with Gladys, really. It's Charles." Edith raised her eyebrows in sympathy, even though she sometimes envied Mary for the fact that her boyfriend was still alive, and so she didn't really have much to complain about. However, she liked to hear about what her friend's beau was doing, partly because he was a captain in the army and generally knew what was going on in the wider world, even if he wasn't permitted to tell them the half of it. "What's wrong, then? Spill the beans." Mary crunched into her toast and took a second slice. It would take more than a minor argument to make her lose her appetite. She finished her mouthful and looked up, her expression changing from annoyed to sad. "Well, of course I hardly see him, he's so busy. Then when we do manage to find an evening when he's not on duty, he's so preoccupied that I sometimes wonder if he hears a word I say." She patted one of her curls into place. "Yesterday I spent ages doing my hair, wearing my nicest silk blouse and making sure I looked my very best to cheer him up, boost his morale and all that. But he didn't even notice, didn't say a thing." Edith set down her own piece of toast. "I expect he did and just didn't want to mention it," she suggested. "But I want him to mention it," Mary cried, her usually bright blue eyes now filled with irritation. "It took me ages, and you know how hard it's becoming to buy nice makeup and find a way to make your favourite perfume last. I don't want to let him down when he takes me to lovely restaurants." "Of course," said Edith, although her experience of lovely restaurants was non-existent. Harry used to take her to a local pub, the Duke's Arms, or one of the nearby cinemas, and that was all they had needed. "He keeps going on about the threat of Hitler invading," Mary confided. "I tell him he wouldn't dare. Mr. Churchill will defend us. That's what he's promised to do, and I believe him. There's no need to worry on that score. Charles won't tell me any details, but he looks so tired and drawn, poor lamb. Yesterday he couldn't even spare the time for a proper meal." We just went to the hotel bar nearest to his office and had a quick